Greetings and welcome. I'm Stan Houston, and welcome to our new studio in Cary, North Carolina, the What It Takes radio and video studio, where we produce a number of podcasts for people around the world, and of course also have a video studio where we help others, but also we are involved. I think I might have about 1,000 different video programs out there and counting. And our mission is quite simple. We want to help people be different, maybe even be better. We want them to improve their lives and improve their business and improve their spirit and have better relationships and figure out what is truly important and be more fully alive. It's often said that Jesus came to save us and take us to heaven. Well, that's partly true. He also came to teach us how to be fully human and how to make a difference and enjoy this life right now. And we'd like to help people do just that. I'm pressing on. That's part of my mottos with the new venture on What It Takes Radio. And I want to tell you today that I am a prophet. Well, not really, but I'd like to pretend and play that I am. Because 20 years ago, I wrote a book. Hard to believe it's that long ago. I accomplished something I never thought I'd be able to do, but I did. I wanted to write a book, and I wrote one. And here it is in big red letters. It's now out of print, 20 years old. It needs revision, even though much of it is still pretty good. And maybe you can see that. It says, "You make the difference." And it's a performance guide on how to market you. Now, the reason I was a bit prophetic is that I anticipated the kind of situation with this new economy where it's not just your product or your service, because everybody has products and services. It's you. You make the difference. When I'm coaching men and women in their business, they oftentimes say to me, "Stan, well, how can I improve my business?" And I say, I think I know how we can do that. But you have to understand that before we can improve your business, we may have to help improve you. And so you will make the difference, because before people will buy your products or your services, they have to buy you. So you do make the difference. But I was also a little more prophetic in that in chapter 7, here's what I said, okay? Chapter 7, 20 some years ago. Chapter 7, I chose it 7 very carefully. That's kind of the number of completion, maybe perfection. This is it, the big one. The future belongs to the storyteller. And then I had two of my favorite quotes. The master teacher, Jesus, came and he told stories and asked questions. So what do? We preach sermons and give answers. Think about that. And then a simple 5-line statement that changed my life and business. The man was Eli Weissel, and he always dressed in black when he spoke. And he was known for a book simply called The Night, in which he described the terrors of the Holocaust as a young boy. And whenever he spoke, he simply started his presentations with no introduction, none of that glad hand stuff. He just would come forward and look straight in the eyes of the camera, or perhaps the people who were there, and say, "Let me tell you a story." Then I go on to tell you the story about some man who was different. And his name was Sam. That's not his real name in the book, but Sam was an insurance salesman. And he was a good man, a man of faith, a man of character, good at what he did. And he decided that he should be in the business. As he said, God said, we have to look out for widows and orphans. And one of the ways I want to do that is to help men, for sure, make sure that they have left an insurance legacy for their wives and children if something would happen to them. And he did then some financial planning. And he said to me, "Stan, you know, I really work hard. I do. I'm all, but I'm just not as good as I could be. I'm just not, I've got friends who don't work nearly as hard as I do at the business. I'm making a living, but I'm not having the fun that I did or wanted to have. Uh, can you help me? And I did. And I'm not going to tell you how I did it exactly, except to say this. Sam quit selling insurance and he started telling stories. Can I say that again? Sam quit selling insurance and started telling stories. And his business boomed. He changed and became very different. And he enjoyed his work so much more, and obviously that enjoyment was contagious. He not only stopped asking for referrals, he had a different line which I taught him. I said, don't ask for referrals, deserve a recommendation. And when anybody said to him, Sam, I'm really grateful for what you do, he would say, thank you. I want the best for you. And I would be grateful if you would recommend me to others. None of this, please refer me. He just simply said, when people were happy with him or they had some new insight from him because he told stories and he was good and smart, he knew the product and he knew what he was about, he would just simply say, you know what? I would be grateful if you would recommend me to your friends, to others. And they did. He got to the point where he actually didn't have to prospect anymore. People started coming to him. And his business grew, and his income, of course, increased. And his influence in the community grew. And did he live happily ever after? Well, I don't know for sure. I haven't been in touch with him for many years, but he was doing very well and enjoying life and being able to grow not only in his family and friendships, but in his faith. So that's a brief summary of the story I told in chapter 7. And then I went on to tell people how to become a storyteller. And anybody who's watching the world of performance coaching and sales and marketing today knows that what I said was true, and that what I say now is even more true. The only effective means of communication is storytelling. The only effective means of communication is storytelling. Well, I could help you do that, but here's how I can help you be even more efficient and effective now. The podcasting phenomenon is going and growing by leaps and bounds, and the smart people and the smart businesses, even do you know that many of those people you see on TV who are making perhaps $1 million salaries on their programs, guess what else they do? On their own, they have their own podcast where they can be a little bit more human. And there's something very unique about the fact that radio, when it's done well, is not just about loud music and too many commercials. What it's really about is the power of it is almost an intimate conversation between friends. And as a result of that, their business and their relationships and their friendships are going and growing because they've learned how to stop selling and start being and performing and demonstrating their wisdom, insight, and telling good stories like the master did. And their life is getting better and their business is even better. That's what I do, and I teach people how to do that, and I do it well. And so right now I'm in the business of helping people do just exactly that, but helping them also learn how to be the new wave media people. They are podcasters. They are personal on-demand broadcasters, and they not only have their own microphone, they have their own station, and they have their own radio program. And they reach out to people all over the world. So that's what we're about, and I'd be glad to help you. Again, check me out at witradio.net, witradio.net, and that'll tell part of the story. And obviously, these podcasts, in terms of the visual or a video version, are also going to come to you on a regular basis from now on. So please, I'd be glad to help you. Reach out to me at stanhouston@gmail.com, stanhouston@gmail.com. And remember, we're going to help you be on the radio. We're going to help you have interesting ideas, and we're going to remind you that indeed, in life and business, the future belongs to the storyteller. Always close with a benediction, so all the best and blessings to you. May this day be a day. Maybe you might even have a small miracle in your life today. Make sure you're paying attention and just see if that might happen. I'm Stan. Bye for now. Please reach out to me, Stan Houston, at stan@witradio.net. Witradio.net is our website, and 520-664-7002 USA.